Good morning and welcome to our daily prayer message coming to you from Carmel Mission Basilica. Well, here I am this morning in our beautiful bell tower, not a place I get to see very often. And in fact, the entrance is quite precarious. But I said, Paul, you can do it once before you pass away. So it's a beautiful, beautiful panoramic view. You can probably see it in the background, or some of it at least. And I'm here on Memorial Day. Memorial Day, of course, being a day when we remember all those brave men and women who sacrificed their lives for the cause of freedom and peace and protecting the defenseless. I have a cousin who spent his life doing that. His name is Thomas Kettle, also known as a poet. And so I'm going to read you one of his poems this morning. But just a little bit of background about Tom. Tom Kettle was an Irish economist. He was a barrister and a prolific writer. He was also an elected member of the Irish Parliament between the years 1906 and 1910. Then he did something that was considered quite strange and was unusual at that time. He enlisted in the British Army, despite the fact that he was a born Irish nationalist. He enlisted in 1914 at the outbreak of the First World War, and this caused a lot of outrage among his friends, even members of his own family. He felt, though, a greater responsibility to join in the fight to save Europe. He was a true European at heart. No Brexit for Tom Kettle. G.K. Chesterton said of him, Thomas Michael Kettle was perhaps the greatest example of that greatness of spirit which was so ill rewarded on both sides of the Channel. He was a wit, a scholar, an orator, a man ambitious in all the arts of peace. And he fell fighting the barbarians because he was too good a European to use the barbarians against England, as England 100 years before had used the barbarians against his own country, Ireland. In this emotional poem, written a few days before his untimely death, Tom Kettle is thinking about his wife back in Dublin, Ireland. She has written to him a number of times, and the last letter was the joyous news that she had given birth to their firstborn child. And he realizes that the chances are he will never get to see his beloved daughter. This poem is To My Daughter Betty. In wiser days, my darling rosebud, blown to beauty proud, as was your mother's prime, in that desired, delayed, incredible time, you'll ask why I abandoned you, my own, and the dear heart that was your baby throne, to die with death. And oh, they'll give you rhyme and reason. Some will call the thing sublime, and some decry it in a knowing tone. So here, while the mad guns curse overhead, and tired men sigh with mud for couch and floor, know that we fools, now with the foolish dead, died not for flag, nor king, nor emperor, but for a dream, born in a herdsman's shed, and for the secret scripture of the poor. Today we thank all members of our armed forces and indeed all military men and women all over the world who've laid down their lives for our protection and for the fight to secure peace. We're grateful beyond words for their own sacrifice and that of their families. As always, I invite you to send your prayer requests to myself and Father Rodrigo. Just go to our website, carmelmission.org, and press on the prayer request button, and we will take your intentions with us in our prayers and daily masses. So I wish you profound peace and also that freedom that comes from knowing that we are beloved sons and daughters of a loving and merciful God.